Hey pals! Today we're gonna open up and take a look at 3 figures at once. What a novel idea. These are Hasbro's retro Marvel Legends Uncanny X-Men figures, as you can tell from the packaging. So the ones we picked up for this wave were Rogue, Gambit, and Storm. And actually, we have 2 Rogues. Why do we have 2 Rogues? Because one half of the Weekly Allowance team really loves Rogue. And I'm going to give you a hint as to which half of the team that is. It's not me. Anyway, we're not going to keep this one. We'll sell it at a reasonable price. So someone else who missed out on Rogue can get their hands on her. Ugh. I mean, I don't know what to say. The man loves Rogue. Is it the hair? Is it the accent? Anyway, let's get into it. I guess I will start with Gambit, because he's the least exciting to me. I'm going to be, well, I'm going to attempt to be gentle when opening these, so we can keep the back. I think that's part of this whole deal, is that the carding on the back is supposed to be collectible too, or something. I don't know. I didn't have these toys in the 90s. Believe it or not, I was still pretty young back then. For most of the 90s, I didn't even know what the X-Men were, because I was a baby. Okay, let's see if we can get into this without totally ruining it. Oh, I forgot to mention the illustration on the front. The illustrations on these are really cool, nice and clean. His expression scares me a little bit. He looks way too excited about whatever it is he's doing, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. Okay, I've used my mastery over the X-Acto knife to undo him from his package, and you can see more clearly the card art here. Yeah, really nice art. I don't know who did this. I don't think it says on the package who the artist is. It doesn't look very 90s to me. This is definitely a 2000s style. Some clean digital work. But what do I know? I only went to college to study comics. True story. I dropped one of his accessories and just spent 30 minutes looking for it. It was this thing, by the way. Very hard to find. Nice face sculpt. It does look like Gambit, which is the whole point. I really like the sculpt on the jacket. It's got a ton of folds and wrinkles. Maybe too many? I feel like if it's a leather jacket, it shouldn't wrinkle this much. What do I know? I do wish there was a little bit of a paint wash on the jacket. It's just a stark brown, which is okay, but I think it could look a little bit more weathered. We've got some shiny plastic for the, what is this, chest plate? These boots are doing this marbling thing that you usually see in metallic plastics, which I do not care for, but from afar it looks fine. Articulation is pretty standard from what you see in these. It will be hampered a little bit by this big old coat, but maybe you could also use the coat to your advantage. I'm sleeping. Looks down, looks up. Could probably look up more if it weren't for this collar. Swivel on the head. Shoulder joints are really stiff. This one's a little better, so that can go all the way around, and then there is a swivel at the bicep, swivel and joint at the elbow. He can get a fair amount of crunch, but then his coat is just blowing backwards in the wind. It's like he's trying to get home during a storm. But in addition to the crunch, there's swivel at the waist, leg goes out to flat 90, double knee, swivel at the calf, and pin on the foot. For accessories, Gambit comes with his staff, a card throwing hand, and a what's up hand. To hold this, I guess. I don't know why I called it a what's up hand. This looks like the staff holding hand, so we'll just put this in here. Doop, 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 doop. It's a staff holding hand, but it's also a trigger finger for if he ever gets a gun. Staff is pretty plain, just made of a slightly metallic plastic. It's rubbery and bendable though, so that's nice. You don't have to worry about it snapping or anything like that. One thing that bothers me about this is all his action hands are left hands. I guess you could put the staff in this hand, even though I don't think that's what it's meant to be for, and then put one of the cards in this hand. That is tight. That's real tight, you guys. The card fits nicely into these fingers. Yeah, I guess that'll work. I do like the way they did these card effects. The pink telekinesis effect is very translucent. I would have liked maybe a little bit more paintwork on the face, because from far away it just kind of looks like a blob. Like there's enough definition on the nose to where you can see that, but the lips and the chin all kind of just melt together into a faceless nothing. And if there's one thing I'm terrified of, it's faceless nothings. Let's move on to Storm. Got some more cool package art. Where's her organs though? There's one character you don't want to disrespect by not giving her organs. It's Storm. Alright, this looks like the same female body we've seen on a lot of figures, with some additions. We've got these pauldrons up here and some puffy sleeves. And of course this cape. And the cape looks cool, but it is made of a really flimsy, I wouldn't even call this fabric. It's like a plastic, a really thin plastic. And you can see the sewing job that they did to hold it on. Not the best, you guys. Not the best. Her costume is all pearly white, and it's also doing that thing like on the Gambit figure's boots where it's marbling, but it's not as noticeable because it's so stark white. So that doesn't really bother me as much. What does bother me is this shading they've gotten for the hair. It makes it look like marble almost, some kind of stone. Why you do that, guys? Why you do it? This face, I feel, is like one we've seen before for Storm. I'm not completely certain. The earrings might be new, though. But yeah, the face looks great. Paint application is great. You've got the stark white for the eyes and the awesome cat eye makeup and some beautiful lipstick. What's your shade, girl? These pauldrons are movable, so they won't get in the way of articulation too much, I don't think. Her hair, though, that's another story. That is definitely going to get in the way. I mean, she can't even look up because of it. Can she look down? Ooh. Ooh. That's a tight joint. In doing that, I've really loosened her head. She's just like got a bobblehead now. Whoops. I looked inside and I don't think I broke anything. It's just really loose for some reason. Yeah, it's not broken. It's just super loose now. Whoops. She can look down. It won't stay there anymore. Some swivel, but the hair gets in the way. Her finger was kind of warped in the packaging. That looks painful. Swivel at the arm. Oh. What? Huh? Okay. Well, alright then. The pauldron just totally popped off. I don't know if that is a bug or a feature. Get back in there. Man, this cape gets in the way though. And it's so flimsy, I feel like I'm going to tear it. Not much crunch at the torso, but there is some swivel. Not much sideways movement in the legs. Goes forward a little less than 90. Double knee. So yeah, this one looks really cool, but as far as posing it, man, I don't know. It's, at least this particular one it's not doing great. She's very, very top heavy too, so I don't think you'll be able to pose her just on her feet. It's that hair, it's so heavy. I mean, this makes up most of the mass of the figure. Everything else is very light. For accessories, she comes with these lightning blasts that we've seen 1,000 times before in Storm figures. It's just a translucent plastic that you can put on her fingies. Yeah, it's a cool look, but I don't know, man. There are some issues with this one. And finally, Rogue. Alright, here's the package art for Rogue. Once again, she looks like a 90s character, but this is not a 90s style. It looks cool, though. She, like Gambit, looks way too excited about something. What is going on? Also, her torso looks really long, but maybe that's just the pose she's in. Let's take a look at Rogue. The favorite. Try to be extra careful with this one, because if I broke it, then I would be in a lot of trouble. Because someone loves Rogue more than they love me. Wow, she's really thin. Was Storm this thin? Yeah, Storm is this thin. Rogue just happens to look even thinner because of this costume design where it's got the darker stripe and then the brighter stripe in the middle. And actually, this is my favorite of the three. I think it's got the most attention to detail, the nicest sculpt, and the best paint application. Yeah, the eyes look great. The lips are really nice. And look at that blush and the angry eyebrows. This one is definitely the most well-made of the three, for sure. We've got some paint mistakes on the jacket here. The green is splattered onto the brown, but I feel like this white hair is what they should have done for Storm instead of making her hair look like marble. Let's look at articulation and try not to break her. Looks down a little bit, looks up a tiny bit. Her hair, like Storm, is in the way. This is some big 80s, early 90s hair, you guys. Times were weird back then. Swivel at the arm, single joint on the elbow. The articulation is basically the same that we saw in Storm. So there's going to be a twist on the torso, but not much crunch. The legs go out farther than Storm's, though. Double knee. Yeah, really cool. And this belt is a separate piece. This belt didn't have to be a separate piece, I don't think, because there's no articulation at the waist here. But I think it being a separate piece really adds to the feel of the figure. I mean, you can have it slanted on her hips like that, and it looks very fashionable. For accessories, all she comes with are these alternate hands, so she can either be punching something or taking off her gloves. Remove this cuff. And I know a lot of people are tired of seeing these same female hands for most of the Marvel female characters. What is this? What is this? What is this? That's not a thing. People don't do that. She's another one that's really top heavy. Oh my goodness. I just now noticed her posterior. A lot of attention to detail went into that. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, she's very top heavy. She will not stand up on her own. So overall, cool figures. Rogue is definitely the best one as far as sculpt and paint application and attention to detail goes. And hey, maybe one day we'll get new hands for our female figures. That's it for today. Comment, like, subscribe, blah, 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 whatever. Do it if you want. If you don't want, then, you know, whatever. Live your life. Who's your favorite X-Men character? Mine is Nightcrawler. Anyone remember X-Men Evolution? I really loved that show when I was a kid. Okay, I'm gonna go now. I'll see you guys on the next one.